Afternoon everybody, it's the 11th of May. Just had a bit of a downpour this last day and a half, so I've not been down on the allotment, so I just thought I'd show you the potato plants that I have at home in the garden. I had about 10 or 11 in the greenhouse, but I could barely walk in there, so I've put 5 out onto the raised beds. And you can see they're doing really well. They're about 3 foot high already. 2 Swift, 1 Sharps Express, 1 Red Duke of York, and at the back a pink fir apple. So that's a main crop. But the other 4 are early varieties. I've had to stake them up because as soon as I put them out, the breeze picked up. So got about 10 canes in there, and all connected with twine, just to stop the hounds on the tops of the potatoes breaking. So that's the first potatoes on the raised bed. I've still got 6 potato plants in the greenhouse. I had to take the other 5 out because I couldn't get in anymore, they were so big. And I've got 4 Swift here at the front and 2 Foremost at the back. The tomatoes seem to be doing okay. They've gone through their purple phase towards the back of the greenhouse. They suffered a little bit more with the cold weather, and most of the plants there developed a purple colouring on the underside of the leaves. The sungold plants actually seem to be more affected than the others, but they're starting to green up again. You can still see the veins are a little bit dark, a little bit, you can see that sort of purple mottling there. That's a good example. They tend to purple and then twist and turn a little bit, the leaves. But it's just a reaction to the cold. They're also in a John Innes number 1 compost, which generally speaking is actually very good. It re-wets if they dry out. Enough nutrition in it to keep them going for about 8 weeks, but it is quite dense. And when I watered them onto the watering tray as I normally do. But this year, as everybody knows now, we had 4 or 5 weeks of really cold and wet weather, and the John Innes, whilst generally speaking it's really good, on this occasion it just held in the damp and the cold a little bit. So in future I'll probably mix the John Innes number 1 with a good multi-purpose compost, so 50-50, and hopefully it'll drain a little bit better, but hopefully we won't have weather like we've just had in April and May next year. But I've got about 80 tomato plants. They're all coming on now, but they are a little bit slower than they should be, probably a week to 2 weeks behind, I would say. They were planted on the 29th of March, most of them, or in the last week of March. The ones at this side that get a little bit more sun, they're a little bit greener. And we've got a mixture of beefsteak tomatoes and cherry tomatoes. I'll use about 40 and the rest I've grown for friends. So they're the tomatoes, and just looking up the garden you can see the potatoes on the central bed there. They were planted the 3rd week in February, so I'm hoping that I might be able to upend one of the pots in a week or so, just to see what progress we've made, because I've got plenty of pots and that's the whole point. If there's only a pound of potatoes in there, it doesn't really matter. It's a pound of potatoes we don't have to buy. And just briefly, a look at the potatoes again on the raised bed. You can just about see one of the first flowers there. Little cup, little tinge of yellow. Hopefully if we get some reasonable weather over the next week, that'll open up, and then that'll be the signal to see whether we've got any potatoes. So just a quick update today. Looks like tomorrow might be a little bit better, so I'll get down to the allotment and sow my sweet corn. Catch you later.